the day before the wedding, my best friend, Bella Sue, drove a car and killed my mother. My fiancé not only didn't blame her, but instead posted their marriage certificate online. I took Bella Sue to court, stormed the wedding demanding her life in return, only to become a laughingstock. In my despair, my childhood friend, Carlos Gu, publicly proposed to me, saying he would be my lifelong support. I agreed and handed the entire case over to him. He told me Bella Sue had been imprisoned, and I believed him. But 3 years into our marriage, I accidentally overheard his conversation with a lawyer. Mr. Gu, did you marry Violetta Zhou just for that letter of forgiveness? It was just a car accident case. Why sacrifice yourself like this? Only by marrying her could I, as a family member, write the letter of forgiveness in her name and secure Yunyan's freedom. As long as she's happy abroad, it's enough for me, no matter what happens to me. The marriage I saw as my salvation was nothing but an elaborate lie. The letter of forgiveness signed in my name, and Bella Sue's freedom were all he ever wanted. The one who should leave is me. In his office, Carlos Gu stared at photos of Bella Sue abroad, smiling bitterly. 3 years. Seeing her happy is enough, even if her happiness isn't with me. As for Violetta, I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to her. This matter is over. The company's legal advisor was furious but powerless. Mr. Gu, the company has finally stabilized. How could you gamble everything on a homicide case? If this gets out, not only you but the entire Gu family's assets will be ruined. Miss Sue's intentional killing is a fact. Why risk everything for her? She doesn't even love you. Carlos Gu's expression darkened. Enough. I've said this topic is closed. I refuse to believe Yunyan killed intentionally. It must have been an accident. I've handled Auntie Zhou's funeral arrangements. That's enough for the Zhou family. If saving her means losing the company or even my life, I'd give it willingly. The lawyer grew anxious. And what about Miss Zhou? She'll find out eventually. If she visits Bella Sue in prison, your entire plan will collapse. You used her name to free her mother's killer. What will she do when she learns the truth? Carlos Gu lit a cigarette and took a slow drag. Then make sure she never finds out. It's been 3 years. Yunyan should be released soon. Handle it. And make sure Violetta doesn't suspect a thing. Mr. Gu, as your lawyer, I must remind you, the truth always comes out. Hurting an innocent person for a murderer. If Miss Zhou finds out, you're finished. Tears rolled down my chin as I trembled, barely able to hold the lunchbox. Footsteps approached, and I hastily hid in the stairwell. Turns out, my mother's fatal car accident was never officially filed. Bella Sue wasn't imprisoned as he claimed but lived freely abroad. All thanks to my beloved husband's schemes. His humility, his patience, were all for the woman he truly loved. For 3 years, I lived in his meticulously crafted lie. What I thought was happiness was hell. How ironic. I stumbled out of the building and waited at the entrance for 5 hours. When the last light in the office went out, he finally appeared. Spotting me, he tenderly took my hand. Why didn't you come in? How long have you been waiting? Not long. I just got here. I knew you were busy, so I brought you some homemade porridge. Your secretary said you were in a meeting, so I left. Don't trouble yourself next time. You're not well. I'd hate for you to overexert yourself. He pulled me into an embrace and kissed my forehead. His touch as gentle as ever, but I could no longer feel his warmth. How far would a person go for someone they love? He guided me into the passenger seat and casually remarked, "By the way, Bella Sue is about to be released. You two were close once. She's paid her dues. And the company is collaborating with the Shin family on projects now. Maybe, it's all in the past. I won't go after her. Don't worry." He relaxed, a faint smile tugging at his lips. "Thank you for understanding. Having you is my greatest blessing." I turned away, tears silently falling as I stared out the window. Back home, while he showered, I opened his laptop. The password was Bella Sue's birthday. The wallpaper was a seaside photo of the Maldives, where Bella Sue had lived for the past 3 years. I logged into his social media. His profile picture was a photo with Bella Sue. His following list had only one account, hers. Every post showcased Bella Sue's life abroad, her jewelry from the Gu family's brands, her shawl from their latest campaign. Even the villa she tagged was a Gu Group hotel overseas. That hotel was established 3 years ago. The Gu family's sole overseas project. Hands shaking, I checked his transfer records. The only recipient was Bella Sue. 1 million every month, without fail, for 3 years. My heart turned to ice as I scrolled. I remembered his social media bio. A single word, wait. When I'd asked him about it, he'd brushed it off as something random. Now, I understood. In 3 years of marriage, aside from our wedding photo, we had no pictures together. No matter how much I begged or cried, He'd say, "We see each other every day, why bother?" Now I knew. It wasn't unnecessary. I was the one who didn't matter. Laughing bitterly, I stopped scrolling. I booked a one-way ticket abroad, departing in 3 days, and applied to revoke all my identification documents. 3 days to say goodbye to 3 years. Enough. I set a countdown as my phone wallpaper, a daily reminder. He emerged from the shower, thinking I was asleep, and stayed silent. I didn't sleep all night. At dawn, I went to freshen up. My phone buzzed. Carlos Gu's confused voice followed. "Violetta, why are you revoking your documents?" I quickly took the phone and feigned calm. "Nothing. My ID expired. I'm just renewing it." "Don't you have a project meeting today?" "Go ahead." He didn't press further, only pulling me into a tender embrace. "Thank you, my dear. Having such a thoughtful wife is my greatest fortune." I smiled faintly but said nothing. "As a reward, let me give you a gift today." "Okay, sure. I'll wait for you at home." To keep me from causing trouble for Bella Sue, he'd go to any lengths. This 3-year-long farce was finally ending. The moment he left, I went to revoke my documents. After submitting the forms, I consulted a lawyer. When I asked about the letter of forgiveness, the lawyer said a family member's forgiveness held legal weight. It was irreversible. I didn't press further, only asked him to print 2 copies of divorce papers. With the documents in hand, I went to Carlos Gu's company. At the entrance, employees whispered, "That's Mrs. Gu, right? Rumor says she just returned from abroad." No wonder Mr. Gu's smitten. Even I'm captivated. Must be. That bag is the latest Hermes, one of 10 globally. I've seen Mr. Gu picking out bags in his office. He even got her that. So sweet. Was that overseas hotel built for her? Their childhood sweethearts. Right. Even soap operas aren't this dramatic. Outside the top floor office, I paused. Inside, a familiar voice spoke. "These 3 years, have you been okay?" Very good. Waking up to the ocean every day, breathing in freedom. "Thank you. Without you, I'd have." "Don't mention it. It's over. I know you didn't mean to hurt anyone. Helping you was helping myself." Bella Sue giggled. "You're still the same. If Violetta finds out you secretly helped me, she'll throw a fit. This bag is too expensive. I can't accept it. Give it to Violetta. I don't want her suing me again." Typical Bella Sue, reaping all the benefits while playing the magnanimous victim, pinning every blame on me. At the wedding 3 years ago, I'd exposed her as a murderer, cutting ties with her and Xian, yet all the guests sided with her, calling me unreasonable. I became a joke. Carlos Gu's appearance was my only salvation. Now, he was the one who'd pushed me into the abyss. A secretary rushed over with documents, accidentally opening the door. Carlos Gu's eyes flashed with surprise. "Violetta, when did you get here?" "Don't misunderstand. Union just got out. We were catching up. Nothing else." "Violetta, long time no see." Bella Sue stood, wearing the latest haute couture from the Gu family's brand. Her skin glowed, her demeanor relaxed. Nothing like someone who'd just left prison. I smiled faintly, suppressing my pain. "No worries. I was shopping and dropped by. Since you're busy, I'll head back." Carlos Gu thought I was upset and spent the next half-hour explaining. "Don't be like this. I was just asking how she'd been in prison. It's hard for a woman in there. It's been 3 years. Shouldn't we let go of the past? You said it was over, right?" Watching his anxious expression, I laughed. To save Bella Sue, he'd sacrificed his marriage and acted for 3 years. Now that she was free, who was this performance for? "Yes, it's over. Don't worry, I'm not unreasonable. I keep my word. Go ahead with your work. I'll wait for you at home." His relief was palpable as he had his secretary escort me out. Before I left, he reminded me of the Shin family's banquet the next night, a celebration for Bella Sue's return. As the CEO, appearances mattered. Officially, Bella Sue had been studying abroad. Her imprisonment was never mentioned. I nodded, promising not to make a scene. Only then did he let me leave. At home, I took down our wedding photo and shredded it with scissors, tossing it into the trash. That night, Carlos Gu didn't return. Bella Sue, however, reactivated her social media and posted a candlelit dinner for 2. The man's face wasn't shown, only his wrist, where a wedding ring should have been. Only a pale band of skin remained. It was Carlos Gu. I gave the post a like, as she'd wanted, then turned off my phone and packed my bags. The next morning, his secretary delivered a banquet dress, last season's outdated design. By the time I arrived at the event, Xian had just finished his speech, handing all collaborative projects with the Gu family to Bella Sue. The crowd buzzed with envy, praising Bella Sue's luck, 2 childhood sweethearts still cherishing her. When I appeared, the room fell silent, everyone watching for drama. Carlos Gu was busy networking, ignoring me. Bella Sue, playing hostess, dragged me to the rooftop terrace. Alone, she dropped the act, her face twisting with malice. "Jo Violetta, after all these years, you're still useless. Thanks to your husband, I've lived like royalty abroad these 3 years. Did you really think Qingzhou married you for love? Let me enlighten you. Without that lawsuit, he wouldn't have glanced your way. Jo Violetta, you're a joke." Rage burned through me. I slapped her. She smirked, staggering back, then tumbled down the stairs. Screams erupted. Carlos Gu rushed over, cradling her and glaring at me. "Jo Violetta, have you lost your mind? Yun Yan was being kind. How could you push her? You promised to let the past go. What's wrong with you?" Coldly, I replied, "Me, what about you?" "Carlos Gu, don't you owe me an explanation?" He paled. "Explanation? Yun Yan suffered for 3 years. What more do you want? Regardless of the past, you had no right to hurt her today. Apologize, now." Before I could speak, Bella Sue tearfully interjected, "Don't blame Violetta. It's all my fault. If she hates me this much, we should cut ties. I don't want to trouble you." Blood dripped from my clenched fists as I watched them walk away, entwined. It was over. Security threw me out. 2 hours later, Carlos Gu texted, "Yun Yan just got out. She's fragile. Don't take it to heart. The apology was just for the Shin family's sake. I'll make it up to you tonight. Remember my gift. Don't be upset." But I knew, that act wasn't for the Shin family. It was for me. For 3 years, he'd faked this devotion. Now, it was time to end it. I waited at home with the divorce papers until midnight. He never came. Instead, headlines blared. Gu Group CEO's hospital rage for his beloved. Bella Sue had minor scratches, yet he'd summoned top specialists, spending millions. Photos showed him holding her, his gaze tender in a way I'd never seen. At dawn, I called. He was too busy instructing his secretary to answer. "Mr. Gu, are you really transferring the overseas hotel to Miss Sue? The company will lose billions. Please reconsider." "No, do as I said. It's her compensation. Also, draft a contract giving Yun Yan half my shares." After the secretary left, he finally picked up. "Violetta, sorry for the wait. I'll be home soon. Did you need something?" I stared at the divorce papers. "No, go ahead." "Okay, wait for me." I didn't wait. Signing the papers, I packed and left. At the police station, I obtained a copy of the forgiveness letter and mailed it to Carlos Gu, timing it so he'd receive it as I boarded my flight. For a full day, I didn't return home. Neither did he. When my countdown ended, he texted, "Violetta, the gift's home. Why won't you open the door?" Still angry. "Don't sulk. I'm coming back." Bella Sue had just posted a hospital selfie, a man hand, feeding her porridge. I didn't reply. After confirming my documents were revoked, I deleted all traces of him. At the hospital, his secretary rushed in, pale-faced, holding the forgiveness letter. "Mr. Gu, Mrs. Gu found out about the forged letter. I can't reach her." Carlos Gu froze. "What? That letter's been in police files for 3 years. How would she know?" The secretary stammered. "I don't know, but she mailed a copy. I tried calling. No answer. She must know the truth." Bella Sue feigned concern. "Qingzhou, what's wrong? Company trouble?" "Go ahead. Xian will be here soon." Carlos Gu's face darkened. "Violetta's missing. I need to find her." Bella Sue chuckled. "Oh, her. She's always been dramatic. She'll cool off and return. Focus on work. She'll understand." But as he turned to leave, she burst into fake coughs. Reluctantly, he stayed. The secretary left to search for me. Once alone, Bella Sue resumed her act, badmouthing me until Carlos Gu snapped. "Enough. Violetta isn't like that. I know her." Stung, Bella Sue tearfully backpedaled, even bringing up the accidental car crash. Carlos Gu's expression twisted with pain. "Stop. It's over." He left without another glance. Outside, the secretary called. "Mr. Gu, the police confirmed Mrs. Gu accessed the case files yesterday. She took the forgiveness letter and left. She knows." Carlos Gu raced home, calling and texting, but my phone was off. All messages undelivered. When he arrived, the wedding photo was gone. Every trace of me had vanished. Only the divorce papers remained. With one term, I leave with nothing. He collapsed, chain smoking, replaying 3 years of memories. His lawyer later told him, "I warned you. Marrying for a forgiveness letter was doomed. She's gone. Be grateful she didn't sue." but Carlos Gu refused to give up. Find her, whatever it takes. Meanwhile, I landed abroad, starting anew. Weeks later, news broke. Carlos Gu turned himself in, nullifying the fraudulent forgiveness letter. The case reopened. Without it, Bella Su faced full sentencing. Xun Xian publicly divorced her. In court, Carlos Gu demanded repayment of all funds he'd given her. Their showdown went viral, with millions condemning Bella Su. Broke, she was sentenced to 20 years. The Gu group collapsed within a month. On the day Bella Su entered prison, I began a new job, an ending, and a beginning.